Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Jason and I am your watch guy today. Today I'm reviewing a new brand called Invog. They are from France and this is their first release. And you can find it, you guessed it, on Kickstarter. Yes, this is another Kickstarter campaign. Now it is live right now and I believe you have 10 days left on that campaign. These watches are priced at €279. This is their first release, however they are already fully funded on that campaign. So if you are interested in this watch or you're holding back a little bit just to see some other reviews, this is the place to be. Now I have linked them in the description if you were interested in picking up one of these watches on the Kickstarter campaign. This one's definitely heavily inspired by an Audemars Piguet Royal Oak. However, it does have a little bit of a fashion twist to it and it is definitely a budget option. So with that out of the way, let me turn this camera around and let me introduce you to Invog's first release. So guys, this is the first release from Invog. This is their La Nogentaise and it is their first release. This is available on Kickstarter right now for the price of €279. For that, you're getting actually quite a nice looking watch. Now you can see where this draws its inspiration from. Obviously it's a very Audemars inspired piece, very Gerald Genta inspired. However, nowhere near the price, thank the Lord. It's packed with a VK68 movement. That means we are getting a mecha quartz sweep on this chronograph hand. I'm sure a lot of you will be happy about that. I really do like a nice mecha quartz movement in the back of a watch. 316L stainless steel casing with some really nice points of polish and finish on this one. As you can see, the polished edges or chamfered edges to the sides really do accent the brushing very nicely, and I will get into that. Let's talk about the dimensions on this one first. It is a 46.9mm watch here to here straight across. However, if you measure this in slightly on the angle, it does come in at 45.8. So whichever one you want to go for there, I think it's best to get both of those in. It is a nice wearable and almost dressy 11.2mm thick. Very accessible to shirt wearers, office wear, etc. Lug to lug comes in at 52.8mm. That does just cover from here to here, straight up. The lugs on this one are 20mm lugs. I have measured on the inside of the lugs here. However, obviously this is an integrated band. We will also have an option of a steel bracelet for an extra €40 on the campaign. I think that would be a very good addition. We have features at both sides of this watch. As you can see to the side, we have the Invog print that is etched into the side on that really nice plaque almost design. I know not everyone is a fan of that. I do think it works on this one, however. We move to the opposing side. You can see that we have the pushers and crown sitting nicely in between these crown guards. And we do have a signed crown in this piece. Now we can see drilled lugs here. However, I do believe that these will be for show more than anything, with those little hexagonal screws in there. As you can see, we do have spring bars underneath, and I believe that'll be the primary way of opening this strap up or replacing this strap if you wanted to. The one thing that you have to get right on this type of inspiration for a watch is the accent between the brushing and the polish, and I really do think Invog have done that here. It's a very nicely finished watch, and the case does feel like it's really good quality. It's real good weight to it. The crown guards over the side here almost engulf the crown completely, and they do make a small feature for themselves. I know a lot of people will be a fan of that. It does really impose that sporting type of look to this chronograph. As we move to the rear of the watch, this case back really does remind me of a Bell & Ross type of design. Usual information that you would find on any case back, the model name there, brand name, etc, etc. Now this is a screw-in case back. One thing that I was surprised with on this piece is the water resistance rating. and that's because I expected it to be lower, to be honest. This is 100 meters of water resistance in this piece, and the reason I expected that to be lower was the 2 pushers and the pull push crown over to the side here, as you can see there. It's not a screw down crown and it's a screw in case back. Usually means poor water resistance. However, 100 meters is quite good for this piece, I think. And yeah, it does really show the build quality, in my opinion. Now, there's a sapphire crystal that separates us from this dial. It's flat sapphire, and that's exactly what I'd expect from this style of watch, being flat, and this price point being sapphire. As we dive into the dial itself, it actually has a really nice feature on it, a really nice finish. We have an almost brushed steel effect through the dial, which I think is absolutely gorgeous against those vinyl-esque type of sub-dials which are cut away into this dial here. They're accented really nicely by this chapter ring, which is black with white markings. We have the minute markings or second markings around the outer edge of that chapter ring there. On the inside, we have a nice intricate second or minute track. The indices are applied throughout, and I do believe that they are loomed. We will get into that. I really like how the ticking second subdial is styled out very nicely on this piece, and really does give a feel of depth to the watch, to the dial itself. Really makes it a little bit more intricate for me. The date window is matched to the subdials, and I think that's a really nice touch. That is obviously an added extra in a lot of watches, so it's nice to see that they have gone the extra bit and done that. Over to the 3 o'clock side, we have the 24-hour dial. Not a lot of people like them, I personally do. Over to the 9 o'clock side, we have the minute counter of the chronograph. Obviously this really nice red accenting chronograph hand here. And down to the 6 o'clock, we have the ticking second hand. Now that really does blend into the dial a bit more than the other hands. Obviously the others are making a little bit of a statement for themselves. The logo is lightly applied to the dial in a chrome type of display with that Invog print and the logo, followed by chrono 100 meters. Down either side of the 6 o'clock marker, we have Japan movement, which signifies that Seiko VK movement in the back of this watch. One thing that is quite simple about this watch is the handset. It is just a simple triangular handset, which is nice, easy, legible to read. Let me just move them around the dial here so you can see them better. Very simple handset, this one. But I don't think they really needed much more, to be honest. Let me get the lights out. Let's have a look at this loom shot. Okay, the loom on this one is actually quite bright, and you can definitely tell that they have really put some effort into it. It's well spread. I can't spot any patchiness at all. It's very simple. It's not like an extravagant type of loom shot, or not one that really takes your breath away. It's exactly what you're expecting. However, it's well done. It's well applied, and it seems to be pretty well lasting also, which is everything that you really want in a loom shot. I think out of 10, I would definitely give this one a 7. Simple, yet very effective and done well. It's it's definitely a pass for Invog. Okay, so moving away from the head of the watch, we move on to this band. And I think that this band is really one of the biggest selling points to this watch, and it's because it's such a well-made piece. It is a rubber band with a leather top. It really does give that very premium effect. We do have a little issue on finishing here. However, this has been through a couple of reviews, including myself, and that is going to happen. We do like to wear them well. We have a butterfly clasp here. 2 keepers, one that is stationary, which is nice to see. The stitching on this is pretty good. The clasp, if you will, brushed to match the watch with the Invog logo and print on the fold over there. Again, very nice to see. Let me get this on wrist. Show you on my 6 1/4 inch wrists. Now, obviously, this is a bigger watch, 46mm, 45mm, whichever way you want to look at it. It's definitely going to be substantial on wrist. However, it does fit better than you would expect a watch of that size too for a smaller wrist. So this is the Invog on wrist. I do really like this rubber band. I think that it's a nice feature. It's not something that you pick up every day, a leather-topped rubber band. I think that they've done quite well with that matching pair there, and Obviously that is an Audemars inspiration, I think, in my opinion. However, why not go the whole hog, you know? Altogether, I've quite enjoyed wearing this watch. Now, that being said, there are a couple of things that I would like to point out. Now, I did mention that this has been through a few reviewers, and, well, obviously things do happen, but that one blemish on the band does make me question how long lasting this leather band would be. I do suggest that if you are going to back this, you should pick up the bracelet also, just because it gives you a little bit of a option for this piece. One other issue that I did find with this is the chronograph pusher. Now this could be down to the movement, it could just be down to this being a prototype and not a production piece, but clicking this back in, you have to really click it in and kind of hold. As you can see, that is a click, and it's still going. Yeah, I feel like that's just a production issue, and that can be sorted pretty easily. I'm sure that they'll have that sorted out by the release in January. Altogether, I do think there'll be a slight bit of criticism for this watch, with it being such a heavy homage, and you know, we see a lot of it, especially when you can pick up a chronograph homage to an Audemars on Aliexpress for around 60 quid. This one being 279 euros, which is around 250 now, I think, in the English market. It is a big step up. However, you can see the quality, and it's not just a re-branded pick off the shelf Aliexpress, Alibaba job. It is quite a nice watch, very substantial on wrist, and you do feel a bit of quality in this piece, which I am glad of. So guys, La Nogentaise. Excuse my very poor French attempt there. You'd be shocked to know that I actually did pass French in school. I think someone must have felt sorry for me. What do you guys think of it? Do you think that this is an ideal budget option to the Audemars, or are Invog flying a little bit close to the sun? I know there will be people on either side of the argument here. I quite like the watch. I do understand that it is not something that we have not seen already on the market. However, this is a brand new brand out of France, and obviously they are trying to make a step in the right direction in the market and make something that sells, which is fair enough. That's what they're there for, right? If you were interested in this one, or you just wanted to check out the campaign, then I have the link in the description. I'm sure Invog would be very happy if you use that. Other than that, I do have other links down there that you can support the channel through, including my online store. I'd love it if you went and had a look at that. Thanks for watching this one, guys. Please remember to subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.